Robert sat at his desk, eyes fixed on the profit charts. They weren't good enough. He needed a change. The company had been stable for years, but Robert wanted more. He craved growth. The status quo wasn't enough anymore. Robert made a decision. He would change everything. The company policies were old. They were relics of a bygone era. Robert saw them as obstacles. He believed new policies would unleash potential. They would drive the company forward, into a new age of prosperity. Robert's mind was made up. He would rewrite the rulebook. Change is never easy, especially in an established company. But Robert was ready for the challenge. He saw himself as a visionary, a leader who could see beyond the present. He imagined a future of unprecedented success. Robert felt a surge of excitement. Little did he know the consequences that awaited him. The senior advisors gathered in the conference room. They had decades of experience between them. Robert presented his plan. The advisors listened carefully. Their faces showed concern. They knew the risks of drastic change. They had seen it before. One by one, the advisors spoke up. Their message was clear. Gradual change was the key. They emphasized the importance of employee satisfaction. Happy workers are productive workers. They warned against moving too fast. The company's culture was delicate. It needed to be nurtured, not shocked. The advisors painted a picture of steady growth. It wasn't flashy, but it was sustainable. The advisors shared stories from the company's past, times when hasty decisions backfired. They spoke of the loyalty of longtime employees. The advisors were united in their counsel. Robert listened, but he was restless. They feared what was to come. Robert left the meeting feeling frustrated. The advisor's caution felt like chains. He wanted to break free, to make bold moves. He turned to his friends for support. They were young, ambitious entrepreneurs. They shared his hunger for quick success. Their energy was infectious. Their ideas were radical. Robert felt a renewed sense of purpose. Over drinks, Robert's friends offered their advice. Cut costs aggressively, they said. Streamline operations ruthlessly. Push employees harder. Demand more output. Their words aligned with Robert's desires. He saw a path to rapid growth. The potential for immediate results was intoxicating. Robert's mind was made up. He would ignore the senior advisors. He would follow this new, exciting path. The next day, Robert called an emergency meeting. He announced sweeping changes, pay cuts, longer hours, stricter performance metrics. The room was silent. Shock was visible on every face, but Robert pressed on. He painted a picture of a leaner, more profitable company. He promised future rewards for present sacrifices. His words were met with skepticism, but he was the boss. The first month brought good news. Profits were up. Costs were down. Robert felt vindicated. He celebrated with his young advisors. They toasted to their success. The future looked bright. Robert was sure he had made the right choice. He eagerly anticipated even greater gains. The company seemed to be on an upward trajectory, but beneath the surface, trouble was brewing. Employees were unhappy. The new policies were taking their toll. Morale was at an all-time low. People started to leave. First it was a trickle, then a steady stream. Experienced workers were replaced by new hires. The quality of work began to suffer. Clients noticed the difference. They started to complain. By the third month, the cracks were widening. Profits began to plateau, then they started to fall. Clients began to leave. They took their business elsewhere. The company's reputation was suffering. Word spread in the industry. Robert's company was no longer reliable. The short-term gains had come at a heavy price. The long-term outlook was bleak. Robert finally realized his mistake. The company was in crisis. Robert's story echoes an ancient tale, the story of Rehoboam, son of Solomon. Rehoboam inherited a prosperous kingdom, but he faced a choice. The people asked for lighter burdens. Rehoboam sought advice. The elders counseled wisdom and kindness, but Rehoboam turned to his young friends. They advised harshness and control. Rehoboam chose the path of tyranny. He threatened his people with cruelty. His words were harsh and unforgiving. The result was catastrophic. The kingdom split in two. 10 tribes rebelled against him. Rehoboam was left with a fraction of his inheritance. His hasty decision had dire consequences. It changed the course of history. Like Robert, Rehoboam ignored wise counsel. Both leaders sought quick solutions. Their decisions led to division and loss. The parallel is clear. Wisdom often comes with age and experience. Robert's story is a cautionary tale, but it's also a chance for reflection. Have you ever ignored good advice, chosen the quick fix over the wise solution? It's a common human failing. We all want fast results, immediate gratification, but true success often requires patience and a willingness to learn from others. Think about your own experiences. Have you ever rushed into a decision, ignored the warnings of those who knew better? How did it turn out? Often we realize too late the value of wise counsel. We learn the hard way, through failure and regret. But it doesn't have to be that way. We can learn from others' mistakes. Seeking wise counsel is a sign of strength, not weakness. It shows humility and a desire to learn. The most successful leaders surround themselves with experienced advisors. They listen to different perspectives. They weigh all options before making decisions. They understand that wisdom is a precious resource, one that should be valued and sought after. As you move forward in your life and career, remember Robert's story. Value the wisdom of those who have gone before you. Choose the path of wisdom.